Let me start sharing. Okay, so up to the previous in the previous week, this is up to how up to what we have discussed, right? uh, in representing negative numbers. In the previous week, we have seen that how to uh, represent what is a binary number system. That means how to represent any number in binary, and then how to perform adding two numbers in binary, right? And then we have utilized that, and we have seen two negative numbers, two ways to represent negative numbers, one's complement and two's complement. And today we are going to discuss these two negative number representation in details, that why one's complement is not used, whereas the two's complement is the most used application in uh, in digital circuits or any electronic device to represent negative numbers. So, firstly, let us consider this example. Suppose that same, I am taking this 45, which is in decimal 00101101. That's in binary, right? Whereas minus 45, if I do ones complement, that's in ones complement. In ones complement, minus 45 will become what? 11010010, right? And we expect their addition should be 0, right? But if we add them in the decimal, we will get 0 obviously. But in binary, what we are receiving? Check out 101, then 101, this 101. In fact, you can check this out, we are going to receive all ones in binary. These two obviously does not match, right? There is a problem that appears in one's complement. In fact, a reason behind this, it will be quite clear if we somehow, though that's mathematically impossible, somehow suppose that there are also two zeros, a positive 0 and a negative 0, and if we represent the positive 0 or the real 0, that's what you obtain. Whereas somehow minus 0 turns out to be in one's complement this one. This is what you have obtained here. But mathematically 0 and minus 0 should be same. So that's why one's complement faces problem. It cannot have uh, the same representation, the unified representation for 0, and this problem builds up as we perform more addition and more arithmetic operations within the computer. So that's where two's complement numbers come as a savior. Let me show you. Let me add another page and
Sir,
bolo.
so could you please share these slides, these sheets in team?
Okay, sure.
You have?
After at the end of this week, I'll share the complete content of these 2 weeks. Okay.
Okay, sir. Thank you.
So, what is the advantage of two's complement? Let's see. So, let me write that 45 again, which was 00101101. And remember, two's complement was first take the ones complement as we have taken here, and then add 1 to it, right? So 00101101. Now we are going to perform minus 45, this time in two's complement. So we have to first take the ones complement. So 1 1, that means just simply inverting each bit. So 1 1 0 1 0 0 1 0, then add 1 to it. And what we're going to achieve is simply this bit will become 1, right? So only this particular bit will become 1. That's minus 45 in 2's complement. Any of you have any confusion regarding how I just inverted a number in 2's complement? 1's complement was straightforward. I simply took the inversion of each bit. Inversion means 0 0 to 1, 1 to 0, just the opposite. Whereas in the 2's complement, I took that same 1's complement and then I added 1 to it. Okay, so that's 2's complement. Now add them. And we'll see 1 1 0. So a 1 will be carried here. 1 1 0 again. So another 1 will be a carry here. 1 1 0 again. Another 1 will be a carry here. 1 1 0. Then 0 again. And if we continue this addition, we will get all zeros and there will be a carry here, right? And that carry will come down here. That carry will come down here. So this is, so is it equal to 0? To observe that this is equal to 0, observe we have taken the two numbers to be 8 bits, right? And if we can remember our discussion of binary addition, if we add two numbers and we want to store that in n-bit storage, and if the addition needs more than n bits, then we are going to discard the leftmost bits, right? Which are the most significant bits, right? We will always discard the leftmost bits as long as we do not become, the result does not become of n bits, right? Now here we have performed the addition of two 8-bit numbers. So in order to store the result in 8-bit as well, and but the result is 0 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 bits, but we want to store it in 8 bits, right? Because we are adding two 8-bit numbers. So the last bit will be discarded and what will be left is all zeros. Some of you is unmuted. If you have nothing to ask, kindly mute yourself. So this one will be eventually discarded. And now see, it matches, right? The same thing happens when you try to convert 0 to minus 0 as well. Suppose we have 0 here. So 0 0, again consider the 8-bit system, 0 0, all zeros. And if we want to go to represent minus 0, what we'll have is 1 1 1 1, all ones, this is 1's complement, plus 1, right? And again we'll see that 1 and 1 0, there will be a 1 carry here, 1 and 1 0, 1 carry here, 1 and 1 0, and so on, with a 1 as the most significant bit, but this is 9th bit starting from the right, which we cannot keep because it is overflowing the storage, overflowing the 8-bit storage. So we have to discard this, and we get the same sequence of zeros for minus 0 as well. Okay, so 2's complement is giving me unified representation of all the numbers. Is the concept clear?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Now let's see how eventually subtraction, say I'm doing the subtraction a minus b is is two-step process. Subtraction
Sir,
eventually is addition. हाँ बोलो.
how can I convert negative numbers?
I'm not being able to hear your voice. Uh, can you write that up or kindly repeat?
Sir, how can I convert a negative number to a positive number?
Okay, good question. Let me show that. Eventually, whenever we'll let me write this up here. Obviously, negative of a negative is the positive number itself, but the fact is, you need to see that if I do the 2's complement of this, will we get this 45 back? Let me show you. Minus 45 is this, right? 11010011. Right? Now let me do 2's complement of this again. So I'll do the 1's complement. So 00101100, and then I'll add 1 to it. Right? That's good. That's 2's complement. And what we achieve is 00101101. That is 45. So it is completely uniform. If even doesn't matter what number you have, doesn't matter what bit pattern you have, just take 2's complement, you will get the negative number. Okay, negative of that number.
Sir,
हाँ बोलो.
let's say we don't know that a positive number is converted into negative number by 2's complement or 1's complement. We want to convert it again into a positive number, then what will we choose? 2's complement or 1's complement?
Okay. Firstly, as I said, that 1's complement is not used. 1's complement, it is not used. So obviously, if you create a system that takes negative numbers by 1's complement, obviously you will keep throughout that complete computer, all the software sitting above, all of them will satisfy this 1's complement scenario. Okay, but all the today's digital circuits, all the digital electronic system, including computer, all of them perform calculations using 2's complement. 1's complement is never used. And that's why all the softwares, even all the system softwares and all the applications that we write, we always follow the 2's complement technique. So you can, if you are working on a computer, you can safely assume that if you do the 2's complement, you will get the number back. Okay. Otherwise, if there is some hypothetical machine that uses 1's complement to do all the negative numbers, obviously all the complete stack above it, that means all the application software, the system software, operating system, your complete motherboard, chips, each and everything is following that 1's complement protocol in that complete machine. Does it answer your question? So in a machine, 1's complement, 2's complement will never be mixed up.
Okay, sir.
Okay. But be rest assured, today's all machines use 2's complement only. Okay, so when we perform the subtraction of a minus b, eventually there is an addition. So take, and from now on, we will always consider only 2's complement throughout our discussion. And in fact, throughout in the future engineering life, you'll see that 1's complement was just a theoretical discussion, nothing more than that. Just a step to 2's complement, because 2's complement involves 1's complement. So perform subtraction a minus b, take 2's complement of b and add it to a. You will get a minus b. Let me show you. Suppose I am going to subtract, say, 45, and I am taking 45 because I already have its number converted here, and say 30, 35, 39 or something else, maybe suppose 39. So 45 1 1 0 1 0 0 1 1, and I have to take the, sorry, that was for minus 45. So 45 was 0 0 1 0 1 1 0 1, and for 39 1 0 0 1 1 1 1 0 0 1 1 1, and obviously I'll try to make it of 8 bits. So that's 39. Just as a check, if we add them up, 1 and 1 0, 1 is a we have also verified an addition previously as well. Let me verify it once more. 1 and 1 0, 1 is a carry here, 1 and 1 0, 1 is a carry here, 3 ones, so a 1 will become here and 1 will be a carry here. 1 and 1 0, 1 will be a carry here, this 1 and 1 0, 1 will be a carry here, 1 and 0, and this turns out to be 0 1 2, so 2 square plus 3 4, so 2 to the power 4 plus 2 to the power 6, so 4 plus 16 plus 64, which in fact we are getting, I think, 84, and we are getting here 84 as well. So it matches. Now we will do the subtraction. 45, that's 0 0 1 0 1 1 0 1, and 39 was 0 0 1 0 0 1 1 1. So minus 39 will be, if I take 2's complement, 1 1 0 1 1 0 0 0 plus 1. So if I add plus 1, this 0 will become 1, right? So I can simply write it directly to have 1 here. That's minus 39. So minus 39 will be 1 1 0 1 1 0 0 1, and let's add them up again. 1 and 1 0, here is a 1 carry here, 1 1 comes here, 1 and 1 0, 1 carry here, 1 and 1 0, 1 carry here, 1 and 1 0. Similarly, this will be 0 and 1 carry here, 1 and 1 0, and 1 here. Now we are adding two 8-bit numbers, so obviously this will be discarded because this is the 9th bit, and the result, as it turns out to be, this is 6, which in fact is the correct result of subtracting it. Okay, so
Mister,
bolo.
so the value for minus 39 would be the same value for some bigger number also. So that that bigger number plus 45, then that result
Will
would
be negative. I'll show you that. Bolo.
So will that be equal to this 9-bit number?
No, not always. In fact, what happens to that 9th bit, it depends upon the two numbers. We always discard that, and we never consider that. Okay. Say, as for example, see, in fact, when this one occurred, we always consider that there is a 0 here, there is a 0 here, right? And that's why this one occurred. Whereas, as you'll see, that if this is minus 39, okay, let me show you. Suppose you are somehow representing it in 9 bits. So 39 will be 0 0 0 1 0 0 1 1 1. Just check that I have added an extra 0 here. So minus 39 will never be this. Minus 39 will be 1 1 1 0 1 1 0 0 1. So this 0 here simply does not fit. This does not represent minus 39. So this will be 1 here as well. And if you add a 1 here, that will give you another 0 and then a 1 in front of it. And in that scenario, as you are performing addition between two 9-bit numbers and the stored result will also be a 9-bit, you have to discard this one. Will then be a 10th bit, and you have to discard it, and you will get the same result 6 in 9 bits as well. Check it out. Is it clear?
Sir, I want to ask something else. That sir, for minus 39, that the binary we are getting, this binary would also be there for some bigger number, which would be greater than 100 or 1000.
Okay.
So, okay. So, sir, when we will add 1000 and this, for example, it's for 1005. So, when we will add 1005 and 45, then the result we will get, will that number's binary be equal to that 9-digit number?
Okay.
Is that a possibility?
That's the answer is yes. You will also get that. The same information you will get that, but here several things come in. First of all, how are you representing the number? Two things are important. Firstly, let me write it here as, say, number representation. Firstly, how the number is represented. This does not affect the positive numbers. Remember, this is only for negative numbers. How the number is represented, and there are two representations for this. One is signed and the other one is unsigned. You can control it via programming. I'll show that. And number two, how many bits are being used to store it. Okay, now suppose this 111, now computer only understands bits. It does not understand the what number you are sending to it. It will simply make the blind addition of the two bit streams. So let me take this number 111011001. 111011001. Computer looks into the bit stream only, right? And now there are two represents for this. One is signed. Signed representation means, see, computer does not know this, that we are using two different representations. It is at the programming level. At the programming level, we are writing whether I want to represent it as signed or unsigned. Okay, computer has no idea. Computer only sees the ALU, the CPU of your computer is seeing only the bit patterns. All the internal softwares, all the assemblers, loaders, linkers, I think I have used these terminologies, right? That they are sitting between the application software and the system. I'll discuss in details about them later. They simply converts your representation, signed or unsigned, and creates a bit stream and gives that blindly to your CPU. So CPU is seeing that as a bit stream. Now, in the case of signed representation, what is happening is that we are considering signed bits. We are considering first bit as signed bit. If it is 1, it is negative and in 2's complement. So if you take the same bit pattern and represent it as signed, this will give you minus 39. Okay, whereas another representation is unsigned. Where all bits are value bits. And there is no sign bit used. So in this scenario, the value that will be represented will be just like there is no sign bit, and this is a pure positive number. So the value will be 1 plus 0, 1, 2, 3, 2 cube plus 2 to the power 4 plus 2 to the power 6 plus 2 to the power 7 plus, I think I have made some calculation, 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Am I using a 9-bit number? Yes. That's why this happened. So let me just use an 8-bit number. Okay. So up to 2 to the power 7. And if you add this up, this will become 1 plus 8 plus 16 plus 64 plus 128. Just add this up. I'm telling you to add this up because I'm going to show what is happening within the computer. So 9 plus 16 plus 64 plus 128, 270. So this same bit pattern is representing two different numbers. It depends upon whether you are using signed value or the unsigned value. Now the question is, what if you add 217 and 45? That was your question, right?
Yes, sir.
Now suppose on a machine you had 217. So 11010110001, and you add 45 as well. 45, and that is 000101101. 00010. Okay. Again, I have taken 9 bits there for the demonstration. So 0010101. And if I add them up, again, computer is getting only this bit stream. So the result you will get is this 10000000110. 1000000. Again, I think I have one extra 0 here. (110). Okay, and here you have 9 bits. Now, second point, how many bits are being used to store it? Okay, if you are storing it in 8 bits, if we are storing in 8 bits only, we will get the first bit chopped off, and yes, we will get 6 as the result. So it may seem that computer is doing wrong here, but remember, computer is not doing anything wrong here. The problem is in our representation. Computer simply is looking into the bit stream, doing the addition, is going to store it, but is saying that no, that much amount of storage is not available to me, simply chopping the leftmost bit off and storing that. The problem is in our representation. That's why we are getting the result of 217 and 45's result, addition is 6 and nothing more than that. Let me show you. Suppose Here also you'll see a bit of programming as well. Those who have not faced programming before. Always use the tab space of 4 for good practice. Maybe suppose I'm writing test.c. Now, those who have never seen any programming before or seeing the C program for the first time, this is a general structure. I will go into the details of this structure later on, but I want to just demonstrate one other thing. For now, this is called header file. Again, I'll demonstrate everything in details later. This is the function, and main is the main function. That means the entry function of your program. Whatever you are going to write here, for now we will write the logic here. This is a way to write comments. I'll demonstrate each and everything later on, don't worry. This is just for the demonstration. For now, we will write all the logics between this line and this line, and whatever logic you will write here, that will be printed, that will be executed. Okay. Now, suppose I'm storing unsigned int c is equal to c. I have declared it as unsigned. Let me write it as char, because char takes 8 bits. All the operations we are performing in 8 bits, right? For now, char takes 8 bits. Int takes 32 bits. Int takes 32 bits. So I'll demonstrate everything later on. So suppose I'm writing 217 here. So what am I going to do? I'm trying to store 217 in 8 bits in unsigned fashion. So eventually, in the C, in this variable C, which is taking a place in the somewhere in memory, whenever we will go to execute this C variable will take some place within the RAM. At that memory location, eventually this bit pattern is being stored 1101 1001. This bit pattern is being stored. Whereas, because I have represented in unsigned fashion, all the bits have been taken as value bits. Now let me write %d. Now %d is used to print signed value. So what will happen is that this 217 will be converted to some signed value, and then it will be printed. I'll demonstrate it in details later, what is %d, what is %u, each and everything. But for now, just consider that whenever I'm printing this 217, this bit pattern 1101, whatever that was, that will be converted. That, see, computer will not convert this. Your program will consider that bit pattern as a signed number and will show the result to you. And suppose I am going to perform GCC test.c. Okay, first let me convert it to, because unsigned has higher priority. So let me convert it to pure char at first. And as you can see, as soon as I have written, I have converted into pure char. Okay, that means the signed char. Whenever you are not specifying the signed or unsigned, it is signed. So now initially I did a mistake. Initially, when I wrote this without char, it was taking as unsigned as it is this %d. Okay, so if you want to convert into signed version, just write char in the bracket, and as soon as you converted that to signed, but focus on what I'm trying to show here. As soon as you convert that to signed, you compile it and run it, the value that gets printed is -39, not 217. Is it clear?
Yes,
Is
sir.
it clear? Okay.
Sir,
So see, I first initially what I did there, let me write it here. I initially took a variable c in the memory. I stored 217 in unsigned pattern. When I wrote unsigned, for now remember character takes 8 bits. When I wrote unsigned cat c 217, it stored that 1101 1001 in the memory. But as soon as I converted into some, or let me write that complete line, as soon as I converted into the signed version of it, what it did is that it took 1101, yes, it will be a 1 here as well, 1101 1001 as signed version, and showed minus 39. Okay, now the question you asked, suppose I am going to subtract 45 from this, and I'm going to store that in a signed character. Okay, and I'm going to print that result. String minus 84. Just 1 second. Okay, I had to add that, not subtract that. Right, I had to add that. And as you can see, 6 is the result. I had to add that because here I am doing the addition with 45. If I do the subtraction, the same thing will happen. Only that the 2's complement of 45 will be taken. Do the operation, discard the leftmost bit, and you will get minus 84. Minus 84 because eventually the number, I'll show that what will happen. Why that minus 84 also came when we subtracted, I'll also show that. So as you can see, I added 217 and 45. Then added that means we added the two numbers. Eventually, what happened inside the computer? The computer blindly added these two numbers. Computer knows nothing about what is 217, what is 45, and so on. It blindly added these two numbers, took to the ALU, added these two numbers, returned this result. Okay, this 00000110 in 8 bits, because I am using it in CAD as well. So it is confined into 8 bits. It cannot go beyond that. If the result becomes more than 8 bits, the leftmost bit will be chopped off. Okay, and in that 8 bits, eventually after getting the 8 bits, so the computer returned these 8 bits only, nothing more than that. Okay, and our program eventually converted these 8 bits into a signed char, because I have used only char, right? And that resulted in 6. Is it clear?
Sir,
Bolo.
sir, if you didn't write unsigned and
and also didn't do the typecasting, then will we get in the 8-bit system the
Okay.
same value?
Let me first calculate this here, then let me see. Suppose if I didn't write 217 as unsigned. So you wanted to write simply char C equals 217. What would happen? See,
Yes, sir.
in the case of 217, whenever you are writing 217, this bit pattern is going there blindly, right? There is no change in that. But when, yes, you are right. When you'll print it back, it will be considered, the compiler will consider this as a signed char now, and yes, minus 39 will be printed. You are absolutely right here. Let me show that. Suppose if I do not write this chars unsigned one and simply print the C. Okay, I'm not printing result. This addition result is going to be discarded, and yes, you will see minus 39. Okay, the reason behind this is when I stored, it's not going down. Let me. Okay, now when I am writing the char C equals 217, right? In the memory of C, it's really storing 11011001. As I've said, computer does not see whether you are representing unsigned, signed, or anything. It just sees the bit pattern and the amount of storage, nothing more than that. Okay, so in the 8-bit this has been stored. Now when you'll print this out, eventually this bit pattern will be printed as signed character, because the type of C is signed character. Though in the corresponding memory location this has been stored, but the type of C is signed character. I will in fact demonstrate later on in details what is the type of a character or variable types in details. But for now, consider this, due to this representation, the type of C is a signed character. Okay, and so I did not need to perform any typecasting here. This C straightforwardly printed this bit pattern as the signed representation, and it showed minus 39. Is it clear?
So,
Huh.
so does that mean that this data type char will always be like a signed type only? It will
Yes.
always interpret as signed.
Yes, if you do not write the corresponding signed or unsigned modifier, it will be always by default signed. Any variable.
So one more question. This 217 and 45, like to get the correct sum 262, instead of using char, because that will only store 8 bits, we have to use a different, I think, data type, right?
Exactly. Let me show that. This problem, this chopping off of leftmost bit happened because we confined it to store within 8 bits. Now let me store it in full 32 bits, and if I have to print the result here obviously as well, and if I just 1 second. Okay, what happened here is that this char, this signed char, also made this eventually when I wrote char C 217, okay, it stored that 11010010. So I'll show what happened, but before that, let me write unsigned char here, and you'll get this 262. Okay. Now let me tell you what happened. What is the difference? Why the difference happened when I omitted this unsigned and when I wrote this unsigned. Let me show that. You'll see all these things in great details later on, as I'm saying. First of all, when I wrote this character C 217, okay, and then I wrote int d is equal to, suppose here there was result there, C plus 45. Okay, what happened, that character C in the memory of this, in the memory of C, this was stored, and what was that, 1101 1001 1101 1001, this was stored, this was confined in 8 bits. And when we perform this addition, remember, I'll demonstrate in again details later, in any arithmetic operation, in programming language, okay, in some programming language, smaller numbers are expanded to larger ones keeping the sign bit intact. Let me tell you what this means. And any integer, or any integer by default, in fact any constant integer, more specifically any constant integer by default is 32 bits. So when you perform this addition, this 45 in memory was stored in 32 bits, not 8 bits. Remember, this was stored in 32 bits. So this was 00101101. I am not going to write the complete 32 bits, 00101101, but you will get the idea. All the rest of the 24 bits are appended with 0. So this was 45. In the that means just before, prior to the calculation, this was fed to the other side of the ALU. Whereas now look into this rule. Sign bit will be kept intact when it will be expanded. As this is a smaller number, so this will also be expanded to 32 bits before being fed to the ALU, and keeping the sign bit expanded, keeping the sign bit intact. So 1101 1001, this is a signed value. So this sign bit, that means this first bit really represents the sign bit. So this sign bit will be kept intact. This also becomes of 32 bits. Now when we are adding, okay, when we are adding this up, 1111 all 110, sorry, 11011001, that was for this C, and 0000 00010110001, that was for that was for 45. Is it clear till now? Is it clear?
Yes, sir. So just one thing, this sign bit you said is being kept intact, right?
Yes.
For all, okay, all right.
Okay. And if you do the addition, you will get the same thing, just there will be a 33rd bit, that will be 1, and the rest of the information will be 110, and this one will be discarded. Eventually you will get 6. That's what you observed. What happened? That's what you observed when I removed this unsigned word here, and you did the addition, you got the result 6. But when I wrote that unsigned, this keyword back, what happened? As it is an unsigned, this one is not anymore a signed bit. It is an unsigned number, so it is by default positive, right? So this will be 0 in that scenario. All of them will be 0, right? This up to this bit, it will be 0 for unsigned. And now if you do the addition, you will see 0, 0, 0, all zeros, 0, then 1, 1, 0, 1, 1, 0, 0, 1, and here as well, all zeros, 0, then it is 0, 1, 0, 1, 1. I think, am I writing the same numbers? Yes, 0, 0, 1. Okay, and now if you do the addition, you will get some bit pattern that will be equal to 262, because all the first of the bits are zeros, right?
Understood, sir. Thank you.
Okay. Any other query? Because I'll have to keep my discussion up to this today. It's already 2:55. I think you have class from 3 as well. So any other query today? Any confusion regarding that? Bolo.
Sir, while here we are doing in a program and using a keyword to perform these arithmetic operations as well, but when usually speaks about some calculator, actually I don't know calculator made of for program, but when we are speaking starting binary additions, in that way we are saying that storage of 8-bit, is that 8-bit actually of character, I mean data type that we actually used with that one, or of some RAM?
Okay.
Or
Okay. Understood. Let me, in programming languages, the data types represent the storage that you are using. Data types, that char, int, there are several more, short, float, and many other things. Data types represent two things. Represent, firstly, type of data. Obviously it is clear for the name, type of data, and storage used in the RAM. Because eventually all these variables that you are declaring, okay, remember that all declared variables I'm writing in shorthand, vars, while executing takes space in RAM. Okay, eventually, see, if you can remember from our first class's discussion, your program is in hard disk, but when you are executing that program comes from hard disk to RAM, and in the RAM these declared variables take some space. Okay, and what that space is, how much space that is going to take, it depends upon the data type. Now the char, they have been created, these names have been created by the programming language designers. Char takes 8 bits, so if you want to confine some variable to stay within 8 bits only, use the data type as char. Short is for 16 bits, int is for 32 bits. I'll demonstrate everything in details later on. There is also a long log int. Yes, this is completely this. If in fact you can also write long log only. Long log int 64 bits and so on. Okay, so if you write something like say short int or simply short int d, then you know that within the RAM this d is going to take 2 bytes. 2 bytes means 16 bits. This will be the storage of the d. Is it clear? Does it answer your question?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Something like that. Yes, sir.
In fact, it will be more clear when we will discuss in data types in details. We will go through all the data types in very details. Okay?
Okay, sir. Thank you,
It will
sir.
be more clear then. Just for now, remember that these data types represent the how much amount of storage it is going to take in RAM and the data and the type of the information stored. Any other query?
Sir, I have a doubt.
हाँ बोलो.
Sir, some laptops are of 32-bit and 64 bits, and then what does those bits define?
Okay. Uh, it is dependent on two things. Firstly, your processor, and secondly, the operating system that you are using. Okay. Some processor that was very old processors, which could take only 32-bit information at once from the RAM to the processor, or that means that would be able to carry only 32-bit of information. And also the operating system, it will be clear when I'll discuss about operating system. The operating system is the closest software that lies to the hardware. In fact, operating system is the software that controls the hardware, how everything is going to work, how everything is from where to where the data is coming, and so on. It is operating system that takes your application from hard disk to RAM. Okay. Now this operating system also matches with that. If your processor cannot carry more than 32 bits at once, your operating system will also not be able to carry more than 32 bits at once. Operating system will obey that. So it is only 32-bit operating system that will be able to be installed on a 32-bit processor. That will be a 32-bit machine. Whereas today's all the processors are 64-bit processors. All their information storage, which are called registers, I'll discuss this later on. All the information storage are 64 bits. The data goes in 64 bits at once, and so on. But on the 64 bits, some operating system may decide that I will not use all the 64-bit space. I'll use the 32-bit space. In fact, I am not being able to demonstrate it in fully at this moment, because for this you have to understand the concept of operating system a bit. But I am trying to demonstrate in as easy language as possible. So operating system can confine itself that no, I am going to use only 32 bits. So you can install 32-bit operating system on 64-bit processor, but your system in that scenario will be 32 bits, because no application running on that operating system will be able to use 64-bit power, the power of passing all the 64-bit information and so on. But on the 64-bit processor, if you install a 64-bit operating system, that will be a completely 64-bit system, because your application, you can write a 64-bit application. That means your application will operate in completely 64 bits. Will send all the data in 64 bits, will store the data in 64 bits, each and everything. It has nothing to do with these data sizes, remember. Okay. This concept and that concept is completely independent. Is it clear? Though it is not clear at this moment completely, but it will be clear when I'll discuss about operating system. Okay.
Okay, sir. Thank you.
Welcome. Any other query? Any other query? Okay, so I'll keep my discussion up to this today. We'll see you tomorrow at 2 to 3.
Thank you, sir.
Welcome.
Thank you, sir.
Welcome. Welcome.
Thanks.